All right, Wes, what's the update?
It's supposed to snow tonight and tomorrow, and Chris has some of his workout clothes in this hole that I cut in his roof a couple days ago. So we're gonna get this flue hooked up, get this place waterproofed.
Wes is soldiering through a little bit of a cold.
Yeah, I'm a little under the weather.
I appreciate it.
You bet.
So, got all the fittings today. There's a really cool hardware store here in Wichita. It's like the best customer service I ever had at a hardware store. Wes suggested it, and it turned out to be really good. But getting all the fittings for the radiant floor heating, what I picked up today was actually gear. Well, some of it went to this, but a lot of it actually goes to testing the system to make sure that I haven't accidentally drilled through the radiant floor heating. So it'd suck to get all this hooked up, ready to go, and then it leaks.
For sure. So we're going to pressure test. We've got some parts that we're going to pressure test the PEX radiant floor heat. Make sure Chris didn't poke a hole. Basically, we're going to pump about 50 psi of air into it and put a gauge on it and just watch it for 20-30 minutes and make sure the gauge isn't moving.
Otherwise, no radiant floor heating.
That's right.
It's pretty much no way you can track it down unless... I don't even know how you track it down.
I don't think you would. It's under your floor, and if it leaks, it's just leaking.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with Jim, they had an issue where he cut through it, and the lines already had water in it. So I think he was installing this passenger seat, and he cut into it, and then water just sprayed everywhere.
So he knew where he hit it.
Yeah, so he's able to cut around and be able to do it. And also the fittings should be coming in shortly for the fuel tank.
Connect all this good stuff to the line here.
That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll look cool up there. It'll look good. This little flex line that Brett got will be great for the quick disconnect for the fuel source, and it'll work out really good. It's gonna look pretty cool. Be neat having a little military piece up here as well.
Mm-hmm. Wonder what era that is. Do you think that's Vietnam, World War II?
I have no idea. I wouldn't want to even venture to say. It matches your gray fairly good though. So
I know. I was thinking about painting it, but I was like, it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
So right now, just rocking Mr. Buddy.
It's great in here. Works well. It's nice and cozy.
Yeah, well, with all the spray foam. Alrighty.
Let's get
started. All right, Wes, where are we at with the heater here?
So with the heater here now, I guess I just wired in all the electric. We wired in this pump that'll circulate the water through the floor system. So I'd hook it up to 110, put just a regular switch. Just finished up with all the plumbing necessary. And my buddy Brett is in the shop now doing some plumbing for the diesel fuel tank that's up here, the gravity feed system. And I think we're probably pretty darn close to firing this thing up here pretty quick.
So next step is installing the heat shield.
Get that back in place.
And he actually has the line over there, so I think he's finishing up the quick disconnects. So they came in pretty cool. It actually looks really good with the
black.
The black with the stainless look.
And the other end's got a cool little gold anodized piece for the quick disconnect that goes on it, so it looks pretty sharp.
Cool.
Curious to see how this thing heats up and warms the floor up. It's gonna be really cool.
I know, right?
Yeah, and as you guys can tell, we're or dress for the weather.
What was it today? Like 32?
I think it got, just
32,
barely,
33?
barely above freezing, I think.
So it snowed for a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly. We got the little buddy going in here, but we've been outdoors doing some stuff. So turn that thing around and show him you're bundled up.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I guess you're always bundled up.
Yeah, I always bundle up. That's why I always
yep.
stick with the warm weather.
For sure.
Alrighty, let's get that plate back on. Hey everybody, so a little bit of an update. You probably hear it in my voice. I am a little sick right now. Of course, that is the way it goes when you're about to get on the road, but I'm going to show you some updates, what we've been getting done here. The last couple weeks of being here, Wes had some stuff going on that he had to get figured out, but that's looking like that all turned out really well. So he's been really busy and I've been reselling, but I'll show you what we got done with the bus. So the diesel heater is installed. It does work. Right now, what the process I'm going through is actually filling up the radiant floor heating. Just been filling up a little bit with water bottles. Got about 3.5 gallons in there. At the moment, the pump, which we got a pump set up down below with the accumulator tank. Right now, the pump is not pumping, and I don't know if it's a vacuum seal pump. Like, I don't know if the system has to be completely filled before the pump will work, but you know, you're able to kick it on, you can hear the pump, but it's actually not pumping anything out. So what I've been doing, of course, don't want to keep that on if it's not completely full with water. Just been taking this water bottle, filling it up with the sink, and slowly filling this up about that much. The water slowly goes down. There's no air bubbles coming out, which is strange. But we are at a little bit of an angle, kind of facing down. So I think when we drive today, we should be heading out today. I think as we drive, some of the air bubbles, some of the water should settle. But that's the plan. We'll see what actually happens. Also, put cabinets in where Kobuk's kennel area is. Guess first of all, Kobuk will be going back to G for a while, and switching this out isn't necessarily, you know, because I'm going to be giving Kobuk back to G for a while. It's more along the lines of he either sleeps with me in the bed or he sleeps on the couch. He never goes to the kennel. Like, throughout the whole time we've been here in Kansas, I think him going into his kennel on his own without me telling him to go to his kennel, I think it was one time, and the couch was full of stuff that I got from yard sales, and the bed had clothes on it from doing laundry. Like, there's nowhere else for him to go, so he went to the kennel. Like, he never used the kennel. There's a lot of space, so ended up getting these done by Wes's friend Randy. Sorry, my voice is a little tricky right now with this cold, but that's all filled up. I'll show you that later once we get to Arizona. Still debating on if I'm going to do the reselling thing in Arizona or just sell all this stuff. I've really enjoyed it. I love going to yard sales and finding stuff and then flipping it for, you know, some decent profit. But what I'll have to do if I continue this is get a storage unit in Arizona to where the stuff that isn't posted will be in the storage unit, and everything that's posted here will be in this storage area here and through here. So I basically converted this back area into eBay stuff. So far, total profit, I'd say around $1,500, not including, you know, getting the scale, getting the packaging material. You know, I'd say around $1,500, and I'm 3 days away from a month. I have not been listing any new items on eBay, mostly because I knew I was going to be traveling and I wanted to just get set up in Arizona, get a system figured out to where I'm going to store everything, and then, you know, hit it a little bit harder or just kind of give it up and try some new thing. If I can get this sorted out to where it's just like Wednesday and Thursdays, because that's when the early yard sales start, just do the yard selling like two days a week, and then post everything that evening, like Thursday afternoon after I get done yard selling, and then just let the orders come in, because it is incredibly easy where I'll get orders in. It's an app. I see when they pay, and then I'm able to print shipping labels through ebay.com, and then you actually get discounts. So all I have to do is just go drop it off at the post office after I get it all packed. So it's been pretty fun. I've definitely learned a lot, but I just don't know if it's really worth my time. So right now I'm about to head to the dog park with Kobuck. He's made some friends here in Kansas. He has his pics of his best friends at the dog park, and then out here he has Willis, the place where I'm staying. They have a blue heeler, and they are best friends for sure. But yeah, I'm just gonna take him to the dog park one last time, drop off some stuff to Goodwill that I don't necessarily need, and yeah, gonna be hitting the road here pretty soon. I am, like I said before, not feeling the best, so we'll see how far I make it. I have about 17 hours total to drive to get to Arizona. So yeah, I'm just gonna hit the road and see if I am able to keep going, because I definitely one of those that if I start to get tired while I drive, I always pull over. I always take a break, just because it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk, especially, you know, with this bus, all this work. If it gets in a wreck and totaled, that's just 2 years of my life just gone. But speaking of bus work, the one thing left to do, one of people's favorite things, is the sealing. Should be getting that done very shortly when I get to Arizona. All right, we are back on the road again. So just said goodbye to Brett. I really appreciate them having me here in Kansas. I was just telling him it's just nice to be able to, actually I need to get going. I left him some cash and gift cards, and he keeps trying to give it back, so if I get going he can't try and give it back to me. But yeah, this is the first time in a very long time that I could just leave the bus and not be worried about anything going missing when I get back, like when I'm out in BLM land or something like that. This has been a really cool spot. You can see this stop sign up here. There's a runway right next to his house, and there's been times where I'm walking Kobuck up and down this road and there'll be a plane landing, you know, just one of the small ones, of course. It's a grass runway. You got to stop here and look both ways, make sure there's not a plane coming in. But we have 17 hours of driving total. Just gonna see how far I get today and just kind of go from there. Excited to get back on the road, that's for sure. See y'all later. Morning, everybody. We're about to hit the road. Kobuck is as ready as he's gonna be. Car is reset. The car went and shifted into drive again. The same thing happened. The horn's not working. It blows the fuse for the horn when I tow the car. I'm sure it has something to do with the brake lights coming on or something with that. I'm not exactly sure. Another thing to get looked at in Arizona. See what's happening with that. But just getting ready to get started. It's about 8:30. Been moving a fairly slow this morning. Still got a little bit of the sickness in me, but gonna try and make it to Albuquerque today, or past Albuquerque. I think it's about 8 hours from here, and hopefully be able to make it from Albuquerque to Phoenix. But that is the tentative plan. We're gonna play it by ear and see how it goes. So catch you on the road. Morning, everybody. Kobe's and I are just getting ready to get on the road. We made it to New Mexico. I don't know if you can see Kobe's breath right there, but it's a little chilly. Had the Mr. Buddy heater going, and what I've been doing is I actually put up this drape, and it completely cuts off the back bedroom area. So that Mr. Buddy heater on medium or high just completely heats up this back area, whereas up here, not so much. Still slowly filling up the radiant floor heating on this. I don't want to kick it on too much without that hooked up because it builds up steam and pressure in the lines, and basically I'd have to take that off, put the cap on just to use it. Right now, just going to the default with the Mr. Buddy. Just a lot easier for now just to deal with that, especially it's not too cold that I'm able to, you know, just wear thermals underneath my pants, just wear a jacket, and I'm good to go. As you can probably hear, still got a little bit of the cold going on, but we are about to head outside, set up the car to tow for the day. Got about 7 hours total. Gonna try and make it to Sedona, which is outside of Phoenix, and then wake up early and then head into Phoenix to hang out with some friends at a NASCAR event. And then after that, down to business, but let's get the car set up. Okay. So we ended up staying at a truck stop here in New Mexico. Lots of trash, but the interstate runs right along here. Starting to get dark. I was starting to get tired. With the cold that I have, it's very, like, when I get sleepy, it just happens immediately. It's crazy. But just a truck stop out here next to the highway. It's actually pretty quiet last night. Slept really well, and excited to get on the road. Morning, everybody. So had a little bit of an issue yesterday, so I made it to a truck stop here in Arizona outside of Flagstaff right now. I got 3.5 hours to make it to the raceway. I'll probably stop and get fuel and I'll check on the system. So what's happening, the batteries are actually going to they're at 13.5 now. When I kick the inverter on, it goes down to low voltage, like 11.4, 11.5, and the system shuts off. It's almost immediately. It's just a 600 watt draw that's bringing it down that quick. I have no idea what's happening. When I unhooked from shore power, it actually started doing it, but it didn't get low enough to trip the system. There's been enough sunlight to keep it up, but one of my negative lugs actually melted the shrink wrap, so it was getting super hot. And I called Aaron, and he's gonna meet me at Lake Pleasant Sunday or Monday. So I'm still gonna go to the NASCAR thing, just keep an eye on it. Right now the system's off. The only thing I have to keep an eye on is the freezer and the fridge. Everything else I can just charge my laptop. You know, I'm not able to charge this GoPro because I don't have any power to charge my little battery pack I put up here. So we'll get some footage on the way down. I'll have to keep an eye on my phone, make sure that thing's decently charged, because I have to call Ray when I get to the NASCAR event. So it should be interesting. I will kick it back on when I get to, I'll have to get fuel, and I'll probably take a break then, and then I'll kick it on and try and charge everything up and just kind of see how it goes from there. So it should be an interesting day. Let's get on the road.